Hello, you guys. Hello. Good afternoon. Welcome back to the J Lounge. Of course, you guys know I am your hostess with the most, Miss J, aka Miss Simone Jackson, here to bring you guys another wonderful episode of the J Lounge. Of course, everyone knows that the J Lounge is a celebrity-based podcast show where we talk with actors, directors, singers, entertainers, you name it. They all come down here and they all have a great time. And as per norm, I am super excited to be introducing my next guest. She is a film director, writer, producer, and journalist, and just an all around and incredible person. I'm so excited to be speaking with her about her work. Everyone, please give a super, super welcome to Dina Amer. Hi, Dina.
Hi, Simone. So great to be with you. It's
Oh
a
my
it's
goodness.
a
Thank
real
you so
pleasure.
much. Yes, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to be speaking with you too. I appreciate you giving me your time today.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Dina, I'm going to go ahead and fire the first question at you. I want to know what began your passion for filmmaking? When did this start?
I think that filmmaking was with me ever since I was a child, and I think, I'm Egyptian American, and I grew up in the U.S. and growing up in an immigrant home, like my parents would watch, old Egyptian films, and that was really kind of my connection to Egypt when I was very young. And Egypt is actually like famous as being like the kind of the epicenter for film and like entertainment across the Middle East. And
Hmm.
we have some incredible movies, some like real masterpieces. And I don't know, I think it was a bridge to my identity and to like it was also a space of storytelling that I felt very deeply connected to. And from there, I actually went on to um, also be captivated by like people like Christiane Amanpour or Barbara Walters,
Yeah.
who were these amazing journalists and interviewers, and the intimacy and the courage of that those women like personified really became something that I admired and wanted to kind of paved the way paved the way for me, to really um I think become today a filmmaker and a storyteller. And at one point, I was just more of a journalist. I was working for CNN and the New York Times and like a conflict reporter. And honestly, I felt very disenchanted by the
Hmm.
media and by that form of storytelling through the news. I thought it was really kind of polarizing and
Hmm.
reductive um, and just I wasn't particularly proud of my work. That's not to say that there isn't exemplary, incredible journalism that exists and
Right.
is
Mhm.
necessary for society. But personally, I didn't feel like it was feeding my soul. I felt like actually like
Hmm.
I had to like hide like the most sacred and valuable part of me, which is like my sensitivity in my heart, in order to be like a factual, objective journalist. And so I decided to tell, especially through my first film, You Resemble Me, to tell real stories through a different way and through filmmaking, so that people could be reintroduced to the headlines, um, where like people weren't just kind of dismissed as victim or perpetrator, but really as introduced as human beings first. Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah,
Oh, that's incredible. And I do have to agree, with the news, I understand, they want to, capture, real life and stories, but, you know, not everything bad happens every day. There are uplifting, there are people who are, celebrating, trying to do positive things. I just do wish the news would focus more on that because it is draining to hear, bad news all the time. So I definitely agree with you on that for sure.
yes.
For sure. And it actually brings me on since, and you mentioned it in your answer. It brings me to my next question. You Resemble Me is your latest powerful, very powerful film. Can you tell the J Lounge audience what that film is about and what's the inspiration behind the story?
Yeah, absolutely. The film is very much like my love letter as a recovering journalist
Hmm.
to the world, because it's a true story, and it's about these two sisters and how they grow up, and everything around them is quite broken and, dysfunctional, and there's violence in the neighborhood, there's violence at home, and
Hmm.
yet they're like there's a systemic kind of oppression that they're up against, and they live in the outskirts of Paris in the hood, and the sisters get kind of separated and sent to different foster care homes, and the older sister Hasna makes a choice that shocks the world and captures the world's attention, and it's everything that led up to that choice. And I don't want to give too much away after that, because
Right.
I think part of the reveal of the film is so much more, is worthwhile, like experiencing firsthand. And but I, interestingly enough, was at the scene shortly after something kind of cataclysmic and like newsworthy happened to Hasna. And I reported on the news about her, and it was actually, and every other journalist reported as well, but it was a fake news headline. And so I went to go find her family, and they had turned away every single news reporter but let me in, because the mom felt that I resembled her daughter. And so everything really sprung from that point of resemblance. It's like this surprising mirror between me and this woman who was like captured in the headlines and infamous, and that became kind of my mission, to allow the audience to see themselves in someone that we dismiss and as a monster, and um, we don't try to see their underlying humanity. And for me, it's not just even for the sake of like compassion. I mean, I think
Hmm.
compassion is one of the most important elements of being a human being, and keeping that alive, so that we can, actually find a way to see each other as part of the same whole, and
Yeah.
that's really, but it's also even just about like, even if you're like the most incompassionate person and you're just thinking about like straight up national security or safety, if you want to live in a safer society, you need to understand the people you fear the most. You need to humanize
Yes.
them, and so that's I think really like the message of the film.
Oh, absolutely. That just gave me goosebumps because that is so true. That is so
Hmm.
true. If you're worried about security, you need to, know about the people that you're fearing of, and not get, your information from somebody else, or reading your information, get the information yourself. If you
Yeah,
fear
yeah,
someone, get the information of why you fear them, and try to understand where your fear is coming from, because it can totally be misplaced or
yes,
it's
yes.
yeah. Okay, okay, okay. I was hoping I wouldn't say that wrong. I was like, I hope this doesn't come out wrong. Perfect. Okay, you understand exactly where I'm coming from. Oh, love it. So yeah, Dina, that just gave me goosebumps. Really, it did. I don't know if anybody else, but it gave me goosebumps. It's like I feel the exact same way, the exact same way, but
You're the
never
best,
could
Simone.
put it in a word like that. Thank you. I am so glad I talked to you today. All right,
Anytime.
going on to the next question. I'm glad I talked to you today. Dina, quickly tell me the next question. Name three people who influenced your career.
Spike Lee, Spike Jones, my mother.
Love it. Love it. Hey, you gotta give it up for the mom. You gotta give it up for the
Yeah,
mom. I love it.
yeah,
That's amazing. And yes, Spike
yeah,
Lee, Spike Jones. I mean, and yes, people, those are two different people. They are
yeah.
not the
Well,
same.
they're both EPs on the film, and they were mentors to me, and really like guideposts on this journey to making this film. So not only did I grow up loving their movies like Do the Right Thing or Malcolm X or Being John Malkovich, but just the journey of my life brought me into contact with them. Spike Lee was my professor at NYU. Spike Jones, when I worked at Vice, was the creative director. And when I was in the early drafts of writing my script, they would both read and give me notes. And this felt very much like an impossible journey. And
Mhm.
it's it's very important to, like, I think that when you have uh, if you have an intention in your heart to do something that is bigger than you, that if you really kind of believe in it and put energy towards that intention, I really believe you will magnetize to people who will help you bring it into fruition. And then the rest is up to you and your courage to kind of just put one foot in front of the other. But they were both kind of like guardian angels for me on this journey, artistically, and definitely as just human beings and as artists who have, have created subversive films and Spike Lee, for me, when I at one point I had a deal with Amazon, and I ended up walking away because we just had creative differences, and he was he was one of the only people who was like, listen, if that's not the film you want to make, don't take the deal. Everyone else is just like, take the deal, run, like it's a bird in the hand. And I mean, that changed the course of my life, like, truth be told, I probably wouldn't have taken the deal anyways, but hearing that from him, someone who I respect, who's a mentor, kind of also like reaffirmed that, like, don't compromise.
Yes.
It was really affirming and very important. And I think in the end, it allowed me to make the film that I needed to make.
Yes. Hallelujah to that. Hallelujah to that. I'm glad
Amen,
that
Simone. Amen.
yes. Yes. I'm glad that you didn't compromise. Like, not to be that person,
Yeah.
but people do expect, especially women, to compromise
Yes.
or to
Yes.
sacrifice their visions and their ideas. And some women do, and there's just some women who go, no, I know
Yes.
my vision. I know the value of my vision, and it's way beyond, what other people think. So I am so glad you did not compromise. Oh, amen to that. I'm so happy.
Yes.
So happy
Yes.
on that. Going on to the next question. Dina, I want to make sure my audience follows you and your work and your films. Where are you on social media?
Thank you. So they can follow me. They can follow the film at You Resemble Me. And they can follow me under my name, Dina Amer.
And of course, I highly encourage my audience, make sure you follow Dina on all social media platforms and check out the film as well. Make sure you follow Dina Amer. All right. Going on to the next question. What future projects are you currently working on that you can just give just a tiny dish about to the Jane Lounge audience?
Wow. Okay. Well, Simone, I'm not trying to disclose so much information, but there's I am working on new material for sure, different films that are in development at the moment. And I think the commonality between all of them, whether it's like a dark comedy or it's a musical or a searing drama thriller, is that at the core of it, it's about people who feel alienated with their pain, and their secret, and maybe even how they try to shapeshift in order to find a sense of belonging. But in the end, they realize like that, like, I mean, not across all three, but like that, like true healing comes from vulnerability and from actually kind of accepting who you are and not having to pretend to be someone you're not, just to find a sense of connection and home and community and love. And that ultimately, like, no one is alone in feeling like an imposter or feeling like they're like feeling a little disconnected. I think that's immensely part of the human experience and the human condition. And it's just that, like, we as a society, sometimes we try to just like posture strength, and when the truth is that no one is off the hook and no one has it figured out. And we're all going through the human experience of just trying to find a sense of grounding within ourselves, and of course, at varying degrees, right? Some people are, I like to believe there's like an invisible justice that, like, travels throughout creation, so even at like, even if things on the surface appear to be in grave inequity, there's perhaps kind of an unseen balancing act that happens amongst all this. But still, some people are definitely handed, more dire circumstances. They have to just on a day-to-day basis. There's just higher stakes of survival.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Yeah, that is powerful. That is powerful. But I am looking forward, of course, once more
And
development happens for your projects, definitely keep
thank
the
you,
J Lounge
Simone.
here.
Thank you.
Yes,
And,
yes,
and
definitely keep us posted.
and so like I love films and stories about people who are looking for grace. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Find trying to find a way to see to like just find a place of grace in this experience of life, you know? Because there is a lot of there's a lot of brutality, you know, and
Yes.
there's a lot of struggle and pain. And even if you're born into, you know, extreme wealth and the perfect family, you still have to go through your own version of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're all trying to kind of touch something that has beauty and grace and love, you know? So that because I feel like that feeds us more than even like food sometimes, you know?
It
It's like we
does.
need that. So
Yeah.
so it so yeah, that's I think that's really kind of like the journey of a lot of the characters that I am interested in, you know?
Yes, and that is, and I'm glad because, as you said, as we go through the human experience, it is ugly, it is messy, it is beautiful, it is wonderful, it is sad, it's crazy all at once. You know,
Yes.
we're all trying to find our ground. We're all trying to find like-minded people who, who feel the same we do, and then just trying to find their ground as well, and just, just try to make it through the day by day. So it's,
Yes.
I appreciate seeing movies like that, because there is beauty in the simplicity of life. So I'm so glad
Absolutely.
I'm so glad more filmmakers are exploring that. So it makes me super happy.
Mm.
Mm. All right, going on to the next question, Dina, what goals do you hope to still accomplish in your career that you haven't yet?
Wow. I mean, I guess that, you know, I pray that as I move forward in my career that I maintain my integrity, my passion, my drive, my love for filmmaking as this collaborative sport, and that I continue to understand that anything I have to express is that's worthwhile is something that's deeply reflected upon and something that I believe just personally is something, you know, that artists are channels, you know, for the divine. I believe that, you know. And so to keep going into that space within my heart to listen, you know. And but I also, you know, I want to create to keep kind of breaking barriers
Yes.
and telling untold stories and you know being even more ambition about form and style and just kind of even the scope of the storytelling um and even exploring different kinds of material. Like, you know, I very much already know that I'm the film I just made is like a searing drama, but I know that I'm going to be making different kinds of things in my life, like musicals and comedies and sci-fi, and
Yes.
you know what I mean. So long as there's something at the heart of all the material that feels like it's true and reflecting something, you know, urgent and really about like kind of deeply about the human experience, you know what I mean? Then
Yes.
I'm for it, you know? Um, but um but yeah, I just want to keep going and getting better and going bigger and just having more I think more faith that this medium this of storytelling can really change people's lives. It can actually I believe that, you know, film can save someone's life. I don't say that gratuitously. I know
Right.
that like I've had actors tell me like if I didn't have a chance to become an actor, I'd probably be like robbing banks right now, or I'd like have an affair, or I'd like you know what I mean, like I'd
Right.
be in jail. You know what I mean? Like it's true. Art saves people's lives, and even watching a film when you feel a certain you know if you feel very it helps people feel less alone in this world. You know.
It does. It does.
And so I go to films even as a balm for my soul, you know. So like I want to I see my filmmaking as like an extension of my devotion as a human being, really, you know. And so I want to continue to do that.
Yes, yes, and I love that. And I do agree,
And Simone,
films,
one last thing,
yeah,
and to create from a place of joy, because I think that's very important. she's creating from pain, creating from joy, and giving joy to other people. Even if you're also exploring deep, darker themes that are sad or whatever, there needs to be a way to create from joy. And I think that's what's really important, you know?
Mm-hmm. I agree to that. I agree to that. And that movies can definitely save lives. It can help connect people.
Yes,
It's more than just, you know, loud sounds and crashing on the big screen. No, there are genuine stories that can help connect people, that can help change perspectives, that can help people open their eyes to new things that they haven't even thought of before. And
100%.
yeah, absolutely. And it's movies can be conversation starters. It can start a conversation, which if a conversation is start, then actions can be made and then things could be
Yes.
changed. So it's important. So I completely agree. I completely
Mm-hmm.
agree. All right, Dina, just got a couple more questions for you. Going on to the next question. What passions do you have outside of filmmaking?
Wow. I love dance. I grew up as a dancer. So dance is a real passion of mine. Same with music. I love acting. I love nature. I think like, nature is a reset really and for me it's like a necessity to kind of either like jump into the ocean or be surrounded by like trees or something just to reconnect, Um and I think that's what it dance, music, acting, nature. Um that those are my passions, I have to say.
I love it. I love it. See, I do love well, I like looking at nature. Now, camping is that is out my forte, but I do like looking at nature, and I do like dancing, chair dancing. Because
Amazing.
that's the only form of dancing I can do.
I love it.
So I am yes, I love those. I love those absolutely. To the next question here, Dina. For any aspiring filmmakers who are hoping to be as successful as you in their careers, what advice would you give them?
I would tell them that only they can tell their story. No one else can. And if something inside their heart has told them that they want to make a film, that they need to trust themselves. And wherever they have questions, they need to seek out guidance, but not to kind of replace their own wisdom, but only to amplify and enhance it, your own innate knowing, and and to create from a place of joy and to enjoy it. That ultimately this filmmaking is a privilege, and it's yes, it can be very stressful to get a film made. It can feel like you're climbing like an impossible mountain, but also understand that this is all meant to also be fun. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, so try to enjoy it and work with people you love, because those are the people who are going to carry you uh, through this process, and that's the truth, is that like you can't do this alone. You have to trust yourself. At the same time, this is a collaborative sport, so choose people that you love and who support you and who, you know I don't know, who can help make this process enjoyable as well, because that's what it should be.
Yes, yes. I like how you said that, yes, because filmmaking can be seem like it's an impossible mountain. You might feel like sometimes you're losing your mind and losing sleep and all that kind of
Yes,
stuff. It can be stressful now. It can be definitely stressful. But,
for sure.
I've interviewed so many filmmakers, and when they get on top of that mountain, when they're able to finally create that project to really connect with people, their reaction that goes, it's all worth it. It was all,
Yeah,
and that joy that is just something that they will feel for the rest of their life. And it is worth it in the end, for sure.
for sure. It takes a lot. I mean, it takes you to almost a part of you nearly has to die for it to get to for this
Right,
rebirth, right?
right.
But it gives even more. That's
It
the truth
does.
of it. You get even, and so and the truth is that you have an opportunity to actually transform as a human being, because I believe that like people don't choose stories, stories choose them, and that there's something in the story that reflects something within your own soul that you have to work out, that you have to kind of uncoil or release in some way. And so if you really allow that story to enter you, and like for you to be a servant of telling that story, um not only will you provide like a healing path for other people, but also for yourself. And that nothing's more, I mean, that's immensely powerful.
Yes, it is. It is. I agree. I agree. Oh, Dina, I have to say, it's a rarity where I get goosebumps having a conversation with someone, but you, lady, you gave me goosebumps in our conversation today. Like, honestly, I feel like going out and creating my own damn film. You know,
You
I feel
should,
like going out
Simone.
and
You should.
creating
You
my own
should.
damn film. That's how
You
inspired
better.
I feel.
Good. I'm waiting for it.
Oh, you are definitely an incredible filmmaker and a visionary. Your vision is amazing, and you definitely know how to really one put words into thoughts into words, and you definitely know your vision. And I cannot wait to see more what you put out.
Thank you so much, Simone. It's been such a pleasure, and you're a force to reckon with as well. And your joy is contagious. So, and
Oh
so
my
is your
God,
passion.
thank
So,
you. Thank
yeah.
you.
So
This is what we strive here at the J Lounge. That's exactly what we strive here. So I'm glad we were able to accomplish that. I'm super happy. And of course, I highly want to encourage my audience one more time. Make sure you follow Dina Amer on all social media platforms. Make sure you check out more of her filmmaking work, and just make sure you guys keep up to date as she puts more projects out, because we definitely want to keep up to date with that. And of course, I want to thank everyone for listening in. I want to thank my incredible guest, filmmaker Dina Amer, one more time for being absolutely amazing. And of course, I appreciate everyone for listening in today. My name is Miss J, aka Miss Simone Jackson, here from the J Lounge. I will be back with another great episode here soon. Till then, y'all stay safe and y'all stay good. Have a nice day, y'all. Bye.